Masechta Zvachim, Daf Yud Amud Aleph. We're starting from the second line from the bottom of Tesamot Beis, the words Amalei Rab Yirmiyah. So yesterday, Rab Zera explained why do we need four times the word smolis to tell us at the end, after the fourth time, that Dafka, when it came from Mitzvah, that's where you needed the word smolis, that you put on the left hand. The kohen took the lug of oil and poured it on the left hand of this other kohen, and then he would dip his finger and spray the oil towards the mizbech, and then put it on the boyin, on the boyin yad, boyin ragloit, the cha'izen. He put it on his right earlobe, right thumb, right toe. So that's what we learned yesterday. Dafka there, but anyway, where it would say about a hand of a kohen, kav, it's automatically going to mean the right hand. Okay, we're starting now. Amalei, he'll listen to us with the other ear. You know, there's a story.
There's many people, they take out the same term from the Aaron Kodesh,
right?
They carry it on the left side. Everything's supposed to be on the right. You
Right.
see it from the kav.
Yeah, no, I was going to bring out the point that says we're soon going to learn about it. A nirtza, a person, why does he get his ever that wants to stay longer than Shemitah? Why does he get his right ear first? So Rashi says because he heard that you should be only Avet Hashem, not Avodim La'avodim. So that's why he gets his right ear first. But they heard with the left ear.
Also,
They only heard with the left ear, says the Gemara. That's what it says. The Gemara that does. So the shaila is why the right ear? So because it went out the right ear, because you didn't hear anything, you didn't listen to anything. That's why you get your right ear first. So the question is, if it's going, when we learn, and we learn so fast, it goes in the left ear, goes out the right ear. Well, what's the use of it? So I think one of the the Darshanim said it's for the purpose to clean out the pipes. That it cleanses the pipes. It refines a person. Okay, anyway. Amalei Rab Yirmiyah Rab Zera. Rab Yirmiyah had said to Rab Zera, it says by the Mitzvah, the right finger, the meaning the thumb, and the right toe, which is written by Hashem Mitzvah of Asher, and by it says the same thing also by Mitzvah of Ani.
so what does it say the left? Where's the left hand into play?
No, that's by the kaf. We said the Lug Hashem goes on the left hand. That's not what he wants to bring out. So he's asking, Lamali, why do we have to have side by Mitzvah Asher, and then again by Mitzvah of Ani? It says that the blood of the Asham, the blood of the Asham was placed on the right hand, the right toe, right thumb. Why does he need to say the right? The Torah said by each one that he should put it on the right. What's the purpose of the Hayamanis? The Kosm al Dama Asham. It says by the Dama Asham already these same words that you have to place where you have to place the blood in the same place where you place the blood. You place the Shem. So why'd you have to say it over again? One of the psukim of Bayin Yodeh Hayamanis Bayin Raga Hayamanis by Shemen of a mitzvah is lahachshet tzaddim. It's coming to tell you that even the side of the thumb is good. You know, usually you're supposed to put it on this part of the thumb. It says, this part of the thumb on the thumb. No, the oil of a mitzvah.
Okay.
So it says you put it on the right earlobe, the thumb, but which part? The top, facing you. That's the front. The side, so he's coming to tell you the side is good. And the second time that it says it again, it's come to tell you if you put it over here, the palm side of the thumb, it's possible. Okay.
It's not facing good.
It's not. He says that's the back. That's not. Only the sides will be good, but not the back. So it says So why does it have to lie? So why does it have to say twice? One it says on the blood itself, and one it says on the place of the blood. What does he come to teach us? Says we need both psukim. If the Torah would have only written just Al Dam Hashem, not Al Makayim Hashem, I would have thought, if there's blood left over, then you could put the shemen over the blood, because it says you're supposed to place it over the blood of the Hashem. But if the blood was wiped off, then you can't put it on top of the blood. You wiped off the blood, so you don't put the oil. Because that's why it says it doesn't have to be on top of the blood, the place where you place the blood. Because if it would only say on the place of the where you place the dam, I would have thought you have to place it, but you have to first wipe off the blood before you put the shemen. I will say, but if the blood was still there, I would say you can't put the blood on it. You can't put the oil on it. I'll say it's a chatzitza. You know what a chatzitza is?
Separation?
A separation. It's not a chatzitza. It's two separate things. Chatzitza is a separation. Chatzitza is what the male does. By, yeah. Oh, okay. Here, so he says it's a chatzitza. If you have the, I would have thought if the blood is to be made, you can't put the oil on it. It's a chatzitza. You can even place it on the blood of the Hashem. Rabbi said, it says twice, placing on the blood or on the place. And by dam it says it has to be on the right. It says the Gemara and that b'shemen the mitzayir asher ani lamali. You already said in the same place where you place the blood, that's where you place the oil. Why do you have to repeat the whole thing by the blood for the ani and the asher? Says the Gemara, Elam Rabba. Well, the Rabba answers the marker because before, why did you need ani v'asher to say twice? Right? Ani v'asher, one is to be machshir, the side, and to passel if you put it on this side. Okay. But now, why do you have to say it again twice by the oil? Only Rabbi says, listen, the reason why it says twice is, he says, the Gemara, 1 second, the reason why it says twice, because first of all, the yad, it says, the yad is extra, because we use the yad l'kamitza. We're using a gzeir shava. It says, side by kamitza, it says, that he filled his palm with, that's by the kamitza, and by yad, it says the word yad also. Kappa is yad. So we learn out yad l'kamitza, just like by the bayim where you place the oils on the right thumb of the hand. So too, since it's referring to the right hand, by the kamitza, by the scooping, has to be the right. Now, why does it say abayin regel yemanis? Why do you have to say that? Regel chalitza. Telling you by chalitza. What is chalitza? That if the two brothers, one brother got married, and he died without any children, so he has to marry now the yavama. She's a yavama, and the brother has to marry her. The next brother. Now he doesn't want to marry her. So what happens? She puts him on she takes off. He puts on the shoe, the special chalitza shoe. She takes off the sandal and she throws it away, and then she gives a spit that is visible to everybody, and then it's fine. And then she says a couple of words. You didn't want to listen, whatever, and that's the chalitza. How do we know it has to be the right foot? That chalitza shoe, because we learn it out from mitzayra, the extra word regel, where he places the oil on the right foot, so the shoe where it says regel also by chalitza is the right. What about the tenucha oizen that says you put it on the right ear? Like we spoke before, litzia, that somebody ever who wants to stay more than the Shemitah years. So we say, okay, we got to purse ears over here to the door, because the doors were eders, the doorpost, and that Hashem said you should only be ever to him, not to another master. And because you didn't hear it, went out, we said, from the left to the right out of the right ear.
But you didn't listen.
You didn't listen. It came out right up through the right ear. So that's why
the left ear out the right ear.
That's right. So that's why we press the right ear. So we said, why do we have to learn? If we're learning so fast, it goes right in the left ear, right out of the right ear. What's the whole purpose? So I said, there's somebody said that in order to cleanse the pipes inside, to refine the person. Okay, Zagdi, you want a smallis? What is this smallis of the ani? You remember we learned It's 4 times smallis. It says, "V'tavel ha'koyin etzba Yemanis ben Hashem and Kape has smallis." So my also, what is that? Smallis coming to teach us
That was smallest was by what?
by kmitza. So if you learn, no, smallis is by mitzayra to teach us that by kmitza has to be with the right hand. But if I'm not using from small, I learn it out from the Gzeda Shava Yad the kmitza, that it has to be the right hand. What do I do with the word smallis? It says, you want to have this word is coming to passel the right hand of a kohen by mitzayra. That if a kohen wants to use his right hand, he wants to put it in the right hand instead of into his left hand. You should not say nisapsa. You mean in a place where the Torah doesn't allow, didn't include the left hand. We allow the right hand. The mekayim nisapsa smell in a place where the Torah included the left hand. Ain't a din nisapsa. Mean for sure it should include the right hand. That's why even we needed the extra word smallest to tell us no. If it says smallest, it can only be the left. The other smallest that are mentioned, the two haskaris that are mentioned by the Mitzvah Shalani, it says also V'yad v'dagla, you want to see ani lamai asa. What is he coming to tell you? 1 second. He brings down by the smallest that the one that does learn out from smallest that it has to that the one that learns out from smallest that it has to be the left hand, right? Only there and all over it's the right hand. That's what he learns out from smallest. So what does he learn out from? And he doesn't learn the Gzeda Shava. So what does he do with all these words? V'yad ragel yemanis theani. What is he gonna dashen? Says he want to become the likiditana the Rabbi Yishmael. Like they learned, the Tana had learned in the basement of Rabbi Yishmael. Kol pasha shenem levinishneis. Every pasha that was learned once and a second time, it was repeated. It was only learned for a chiddush. What's the chiddush here? That smallest is taka telling us, like we learned on the previous page, that all over, only by Mitzvah, it's the left hand, but all over where it says hand stam, it's the right hand. Here, by why does it say Bayin Yadi Yemanis, Bayin Ragel Yemanis, it says twice, by Ani, is to teach us the halacha of Oila V'Yodim. Even though the normally you have to bring a keves for by a Mitzvah, you bring a chatas and a Oila also. It says a usher brings a keves for the usher, a keves for his oila, and a keves for his chatas. But if it's an ani, he wants to tell us that he brings a keves for his asham, but he can bring 2 birds for his chatas. Okay? That's what he wants to tell us. That's why it says twice. It says a second time by ani. Wherever it says these 2 words in the pasuk, etzba and kahuna, then we know it only means the right. Oh. So the Gemara says, look, it says etzba kahuna behinat. I would have thought you need side the word etzba, side the word kahuna in order that it should only mean the right. Keep going. Where do we see that? The chsiv lokach hakoyin. It says the word koyin. Midam achatas beetzbaoi. And so it says the koyin should take beetzbaoi. And so since it says beetzbaoi by Metzora, etzba is the yamin, right? Is the bayin yadai.
Did you say everything?
So that's where we learn it. The government Mitzayra, we learn out from the Mitzayra, the Chsiv. The Tavla Koina says, "Boy, Ayamana is Min Hashem," and he takes from the right. So, but it says Koyin, and it says Etzba in that pasuk by Mitzayra. So we learn out from here, wherever it says the same Koyin and Etzba, it means the right. It says Gemara Harei Kmitza likes by Kmitza. It only says the words V'kamitza Koyin. It doesn't say Be'etzma. Tonight we learned the comments with smell puzzle. We learned
it's got to be with the full hand.
Full hand, but kapoy. It should be the right hand. It should say kapoy at least. Something that has to do with etzma. But he doesn't say anything. So if it doesn't say etzma, why is it? Why do we say if he does it with the left hand, it's puzzle? It should be kosher. The only time that it has to be the right, it has to say koyin and etzba. By kmitza, it only says koyin, so it should be good with smell. And that's why you want to have another oy etzba yakuna. It doesn't mean both. Either it says the word etzba or kuna, that's fine to mean the right. Amalei Abaye said back, Harei hilachas avarim avakarmayla lakevesh. It says about bringing the limbs to the ramp. The chsibahu kuna. Over there it says the lashon kahuna. The chsiv, what do we see when he brings the limbs to the ramp to sacrifice? It says vehikiv hakoyin sakoil hamizbecha. It says the word koyin. It doesn't say anything about etzba. It says this is bringing the limbs to the ramp. Utanan, and we learned haregal shall yamin bismel. The right leg of the animal is brought with the kohen's left hand. What? Bismel biyodei hasmal shel hakohen. It says ubeis oira lachutz, and the side where it's smooth, where you can't see the cut, that should face outside, because it doesn't look nice. When people look at it, that's why the cut is on the inside. You hold the cut on the inside of where they cut the animal, the hide. Yeah. So he says, so you shouldn't see the bloody side. So you have that bloody side towards the inside and the smooth side on the opposite side, so you don't see the cut. Says the Gemara. So what do we see from here? What did he carry the right leg with? With which hand did he carry the right leg with? With the left hand. And it said the word hakoyin. And Rava said, even if it says koyin, it means the right hand. How could he carry it with the left? Says, you want to key when do we say it means the right? If it says one of these words, etzba koyin, only if it's something that will hold back the kapara. Meaning it's part of the avodah, like kmitza, right? Kmitza. If you don't do a kmitza, it's the whole avodah. You can't eat the leftovers of the mincha. Only if that's vital for the carbon. But bringing the limbs to the ramp, that's not going to be ma'akiv. Even if the kohen didn't bring it, they passed it one to another. They had a shur of kohanim and they passed it one to another. That's going to be good also. Hilach is not a avodah. So it's not an avodah that's ma'akiv. In fact, you might have a kabbalah, receiving the blood from a carbon, something that will hold back the receiving of the blood. The kabbalah is part of the avodah of the kohen. And if the one who's receiving the blood, doesn't receive the blood, of course, in the keli, in the klishos, it holds back the avodah. The kasba kahuna, and it says the word kahuna, which means it has to be with the right. The krivu b'nei Aaron hakahanim. It says Adam. Zu kabbalas Adam. That pasuk is referring to Adam. Utanan, and we learned the Mishnah in Zvachim Tesvav the base. Kibel bismel. If we receive the blood with the left hand, puzzle. It's puzzle. Reb Shimon Machshir, and Reb Shimon says it's kosher. So even though it says the word kahuna, Reb Shimon says it's kosher. So we got a problem. Reb Shimon says even with the left hand it's kosher, and it says the word kahuna. Kahuna means only the right. Says, what do Reb Shimon comment? He asking according to Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon says kahuna is not enough. You need to have the word etzba together with kahuna in order that it should mean the right. And that's why he allowed the left. To receive it with the left, and will be kosher. In fact, you want to be by Reb Shimon Tarte. Reb Shimon say you need both, kahuna and etzma. V'hatani we learned to Rabbi Reb Shimon Aimer kol makom shenemer yod ein elo yamin. Wherever it says the word yod, it means only the right. Etzma ein elo yamin. The finger means only the right. So according to Reb Shimon, even the place where it says only etzba, without kahuna, it means the right. It says you want to etzba lo yibaya kahuna. The word etzba doesn't need the second word kahuna to mean the right. Etzba, the word etzba is more ikrisdik, and if it says only etzba, it means taka the right. Kahuna, but if it says kahuna, that's not enough to mean the right. You baya etzba, you need also the word etzba. It says I have a problem. So that means kahuna is not doing nothing for us. So a kohen, lovely. Why do you have to say v'hikrivu b'nei Aaron hakahanim? The kahanim doesn't help us to make it to the right.
Makes it right.
According to the Reb Shimon, doesn't dash in kahuna itself. It doesn't mean right. So why do you have to say the word kahanim? And the reason why he says Kahanim according to Reb Shimon, Bichiyunei. It means only when he's wearing the big day kahuna, that's the only time he can do the
Bonus
Havaita.
over here, huh?
Yeah, we're going to finish pretty early. I don't know. It says, what about by the spraying of the blood of a carbon? It doesn't say the word kahuna. It only says the word kahuna. It doesn't say the word etzba, I meant to say. Utanan, we learned Zadik
Tosfos.
Huh?
We'll do a Tosfos if you're there.
If you want, absolutely. So, in fact, we learned the Mishnah. Zadik b'smell, puzzle. If he sprayed with the left hand, then it's possible. Shimon doesn't argue. Okay? So, you see that even it says only kahuna, and he says, Reb Shimon didn't argue, and he says if he sprays with a small, it's going to be possible. So you see that Reb Shimon needs, in order that it should be the right, you need Sai Koyin and Sai Etzba. Abai said no, you don't. One of them is enough to mean the right. And Palik b'Baraisa, Reb Shimon argues in that Baraisa. We find that Reb Shimon argues there. The Tanya that we learned in the Baraisa, Kiba b'Ismael Puzzle. If he received the blood of the carbon with his left, it's possible. Reb Shimon Masher, Reb Shimon says it's kosher because it only said koyin. Zadik b'Ismael, if he sprayed with the left hand, possible. Reb Shimon Masher, Reb Shimon says it's kosher because it only says one word, kahuna. In order that it should have to mean the right, you need both, according to Reb Shimon. So it wasn't a kasha. We thought,
I said if it's a bit small, it's Shimon says it's kosher. Why?
it's kosher because you need both, and it only says
So
koyin
why is it kosher?
because it only said one.
So one is kosher. You don't
One
need
is in order. No, you need both to mean the right. You need sai etzba inside the word etzba, side the word.
Is small or puzzle. Shimon is masha.
Right. So Reb Shimon is masha because it didn't say both words together. We concluded that Shimon says the only time.
Because both,
that
everybody knows that it's both words together. It's the right.
Reb Shimon says you need both. No, one says even if one is written, it means the right, and that's why it would be puzzle.
And what we said, the Tanya, right? The kibble, the small puzzle. Shimon is masha even the small.
Right. We thought that Shimon loy polik, and he also said puzzle. So that means that Shimon says even by if it says, why would it be puzzle? Because it said the word kahuna, and one word enough. One out of the two, either kahuna or etzba, would define that it means it has to mean the right. Came Reb Shimon, came the Gemara and concluded, no, he says it's kosher. And Reb Shimon, we already concluded you need both words. You remember the Gemara asked me, boy, Reb Shimon Tate, does Reb Shimon need both? We answered, you're asking according to Reb Shimon, that Reb Shimon allowed to receive the blood with the left hand. Reb Shimon, the reason why he allowed with the left hand, because Reb Shimon said you need to have both etzma and kahuna. So the Gemara asked, Reb Shimon says you need both. We see Reb Shimon says by bringing the limbs, right, that he brought the right leg with the left hand, and there it only said one word, koyin, and Reb Shimon said it's good, right? So what the Gemara say? So the Gemara said over there, obviously he holds that kahuna alone is not enough. You need both, right? So the Gemara says if you need both, if you said he says you only need both if it says koyin first, then you need etzba. But if it says etzba, you don't need koyin, right? So then the Gemara asks, what do I need the word koyin? It says you need to tell you need to wear begotten. It says the Gemara by Zrika, it only says the word koyin, right? And since it says only the word koyin, according to Reb Shimon, what should be the din? That it should be kosher because it doesn't mean the right. Only if you have koyin with the word etzbai, right? And we don't see that Reb Shimon argues. Reb Shimon also holds it's possible if he does it with the left. That means Reb Shimon holds one is enough. You don't need two. Says the Gemara, you got it wrong. Reb Shimon says it's kosher by both cases in the Braisa. Why does Reb Shimon say it's kosher? Because he says it was only one word, kahuna, and in order that it should be right, you need kahuna and etzba. Okay, only this that Rava said Yad Yad L'Kemitza. We learn our Kemitza from the Gzeira Shav of Yad Yad. Lamali. Why do I need the drasha? Why do I need this drasha of the Gzeira Shava? If it says the word koyin mikona nafka, we can learn out from the word koyin. One word teaches us that the Kemitza has to be right. Remember, he holds one word is enough to make it right. Or from etzma, but by Kemitza. Says he want a chad lekaimetz, a chad lekiddush kaimetz. He needs yad yad for the Kemitza. The actual Kemitza has to be done with the right. And one is that when you sanctify the Kemitza, you had to take, after you did the scooping, you had to place that scooping in a keli.
So they're separately budding. So
It's separate. And one is for the actual Kemitza, and one is for to be mekadosh the Kemitza in the kli sharis. Says you want to according to Rav Shimon leibai kiddush kaimetz. According to Rav Shimon, he says you don't need that second vessel to make it kaidesh. All right, so it's extra, right? What do I need? The yad yad. The boy kiddush kaimetz Rav Shimon. Even according to Manda Alma that says you have to put in a second keli, but according to Rav Shimon, but he allows to put it in that keli with the left hand. So you can't say yad yad is teaching us the right. There you can even do it with the left hand. So yad yad the Rav Lamali. What do I need the yad yad? Says you want to ili kmitza gufa, and you want to explain the kasha even more detailed. If it's for the kmitza itself, I'll leave it Rav Shimon with Rav Yehuda b'reit Rav Chia b'nafka. We learn. Rabbi Shimon can learn this drasha that the Kemitza has to be with the right. That if he's taking there's no klisharis, right, and he's taking the Kemitza straight to the fire, it has to be done with the right hand. How do we know that? My time, Rabbi Shimon. What's the reason for Rabbi Shimon? How do we know that if he takes the Kemitza and according to Rav Shimon, who says you don't put it in a kli, you go directly to the fire? How do we know? That if he comes to do the Aved B'Yad, to place with his hand on the fire, how do we know in that case that it has to be with the right? Because it says kachatos kasham. Aved B'Yamin kachatos. You have, when you do the Aveda, it says the Aveda of a mincha. Minchasi kachata kodesh kadashim. It says that the mincha is kodesh kadashim kachatas v'kasham. Just like by a chatas that the zrika is done only with the right, so too the burning which corresponds to the zrika has to be done with the right. And in ba'aleiv the kli, if he's coming with a kli, not to put it on the fire with his hands, but to throw it on a kli like a spray, the bismil kasham. It says kachatz kasham by asham. If you spray it with a kli over there, you can do it even with the left hand. So we're stuck. What do we need? Yad yad. And the minchas chayta, where somebody made a mitzvah, he brought a minchas chayta. If you remember minchas chayta, we asked the question, why could he only be saying and he doesn't add levaina? Why and shemen the sinner shouldn't gain that he can do it in a cheap way, gain some money into his pocket. He sinned and he's gaining with his carbon. So the Gemara says because we don't want his carbon to be beautified by Hashem. Says the Gemara, so sins by minchas chayta, by the Kemitza of minchas chayta. I would have thought to say that there's an inyan that his carbon shouldn't be beautified before Hashem. So he comes law nam bismalt his kasha. I would have thought part of not beautifying it is the kohen using his left hand. So I would have thought that's the way. Not the nicest way. Kamashwani comes to teach us. No, he has to use his right hand.